Hi, good morning. Starting again. So that your sit bones get grounded, your tailbone feel heavy. Feel a little lift all the way up through the spine, the crown of the head lifting straight up, but the shoulders soft. So a little bit of sort of contrasting effects right there. Let your hands rest anywhere that's comfortable so that your shoulders can stay heavy. Maybe take a roll once or twice just to kind of loosen up those muscles so they can get a little softer, a little heavier. Sometimes we don't even notice that there's tightness there until you start to move them a little bit. So just make sure your body feels comfortable. Then go ahead and let your face soften, your eyelids can get heavy. Take a deep breath in through the nose and send it out through the mouth. Let that first big exhale serve to let your whole physical body just settle, decompress a little bit, and just arrive in your space. You can let your eyelids get heavy here, and then just start to settle into the breath. Start to watch it. Start to watch the inhale come in and fill up the body, and then watch it exhale, watch the breath go out and soften the body. And just watch the cycle a few times. And as you're watching the breath, notice if your thoughts slip away to something else or whatever else might be going on in your day and circling in your thoughts this morning. So see if you can try to keep the focus on the breath. And if you can do it for a few rounds, that's fantastic. If you can do it for longer, even better. But if you can't, which is pretty normal, then just when you notice that your thoughts have slipped away to something else, just come on back to the breath. You notice you're thinking about your shopping list or your emails you have to get to or whatever else is on your agenda for the day. Come back into the inhale, the exhale, the easy pattern of it. Take another few rounds of breath here. And the next inhale, go ahead and sweep the arms overhead. And then bring the hands together through to your heart center. We'll pause here to set an intention, a dedication, or a focus. Whenever you're ready, you can release your hands back into your lap. Just come into your breath again. Take another full inhale and exhale. Go ahead. Just take your right ear over to your right shoulder. Just lengthening out to that left side. We're just going to do a little neck a little differently this way. Then with your hand, your fingertips on your right temple, just push your head back up to center. Ooh, sorry. Oh, I'm making noise there. And then take your left ear to your left shoulder. Lengthen that out. And we'll take this a few directions in each way. And then with the fingertips on your left hand, on your left temple, just push your head back up to center and then take it back over to the right. Just nice and slowly and easily. You can spend a little longer on each side if you like, or just take a breath or two and then come back up to center, come back over to the left. Just notice how you feel, where you feel this, and if you feel it anywhere else in your body, it's totally natural that you could feel this all the way down the back of the spine into even areas in your lower hip and low hip, high hip, outer hip area. Come back up to center and take the left side one more time. And then come back up to center, and then slowly bring your chin forward toward your chest, lengthening out the back. And if you want to add a little weight, you could take one hand or two hands and just gently lay them on the back of the head. Again, moving really, really gently here. If you're not feeling anything, then your muscles are really nice and soft, and your body is totally well adjusted. But usually in the morning, especially, I mean, it may not be first thing for a lot of you, but maybe the first movements of the day. Take another breath here, and then go ahead with the fingertips on the forehead center and just push your head back up to center. And then just go ahead and take a glance over the right shoulder and then over the left shoulder. And take that as far in each direction as feels good to you. You might just take it straight to the right. Some of you might take it all the way around toward the back of the room so you can twist through your spine a little bit. But really just trying to get through the neck. Take it one more time in each direction. And then coming back to center, and then let's add the shoulders in a little bit. So take them up to your ears with an inhale and down your back with the exhale. And as you take them, next time you come forward, round forward so that the shoulder blades expand on your back body, and then take them up and then let them drop together on your back, and do that again. Come forward, round, expand through the back body, and then roll the shoulders. So it's a little bit more than just the shoulders. You're getting the back into this as well. And then when you come back to neutral, we'll switch directions. So first, bringing the shoulder blades together, lifting the shoulders, and then coming forward and expanding through the back body, and then coming back up to center, and do that again. Shoulder blades together, lifting the shoulders, and then coming forward. One more time. And then come back all the way up to center. Take an inhale, send the arms high. And then as you exhale, bring them through heart center. Just roll over your ankles and knees. Come on to a table. Actually, we're going to come right into our downward facing dog, and then we'll come back to our table. So just come into your downward facing dog first. It can be a shorter dog than your normal one, and just walk it out a little bit. Just noticing how your body feels in this first pose, taking your time, and just using your breath as a guide for your body to move. So you can take a full breath on one side, or just take an inhale and then use your exhale on the other side. Take each side one more time. And then come back to center, and now drop down to your knees, coming onto your table. And let's wag the tail side to side. So you can start in either direction. I'm sending my hips to the left and glancing over my right shoulder, and just taking this a little slowly this morning so you really feel that stretch to the other hip. And then as you switch sides, send your hips to the right and glance over that left shoulder. Come back through center, and we'll come back to the first side. Hips to the left and glancing over the right shoulder. And then come back through center and take it the other direction. And inhale, come back through center, and then take your breath through a few cat-cows. Inhaling as you drop your heart and lift the tail, lifting your gaze just a little bit. And again, let's take this slowly this morning too. So take a full breath here, in and out. And then as you reverse the body, we'll take another full breath. So coming into your cat, grounding through the palms, rounding through the spine, taking a full breath in and out. And then coming back to your cow. And then once you've taken this once, if you want to take it a little more quickly and take an inhale in one direction and exhale in the other, of course, go ahead and do that. Move how your body is craving it to be this morning. And so if that's faster or slower than mine, then of course, honor that. And then come back to your neutral, and we're going to take just the lower part of our body. Shift your hips over to the left just a little bit, and then send them back as if you're drawing a giant U in the air, and then coming up over to the right. So just really taking this in a big U shape all the way to the back. And again, you can take this as slowly as you want, so you feel the whole lower back just getting that nice stretch when you come back towards your heels. We'll take it in each direction another time. And of course, you can pause anywhere. If for your one side of your back is feeling a little more tight, you can pause right there and just take another breath or two, or just keep it flowing. Keep the breath moving with it. When you get back to the left side where we started, come back to your neutral table and just come back through a cat-cow again, just as sort of a reset. Take an inhale and then an exhale. And then coming back into your neutral table, we'll bring some length here. So let's step the left toes back and the right fingertips forward, fingertips facing toward the left side of the room, sorry. So make sure that your core is engaged here. The lower ribs are knitting together. So that sensation of sort of that sucking in, but making sure that you're not holding the breath. So you're engaging the core muscles. You're breathing fully. You're extending the fingertips forward and the heel to the back of the room. And then if you want, go ahead and lift that back foot an inch or two. Flexing through the heel, dialing down the pinky to the side of that foot so that the hips stay square. And just breathing, finding the length in the spine here. Take another full breath. And then go ahead and release both of those back down. And then we'll switch sides. Step the right toes back, left fingertips forward. Again, finding your length forward to start. Finding your core, engaging there while continuing to have the breath moving fully. And then if you want to add that lift, go ahead and take the back toes off. Flexing the heel, dialing down that hip. And then lengthening even more in each direction. Take one more full breath. And then go ahead and release back down. Take an inhale into your into your cow, or either way. Your cat or your cow, and then take it the opposite way. I always tend to go towards my cow first, but obviously you can go either direction. Then come back to neutral. We're going to come back into that length. So come back to the first side, right fingertips forward, left toes back. Find your length, find your squaring, find your core engagement and your breath. And then if you want, lift the toes, lengthen even more. Take another inhale. And then if you would like to add the heart opener, bend that left knee, reach around with that right hand, grab the top of the foot of the ankle, and just gently send that heel to the sky, lift from the heart center, ground through that left palm. Breathing fully. Take another inhale. And then as you exhale, very gently release. Come on back to your length. Inhale, and then exhale it all down. And then again, take a breath through your cat-cow or your cow-cat. I hear my dog coming up the steps. Hi, Rock. Come here. Come on up. All right, and then we're going to take the other side. So stepping the right toes back, left fingertips forward. Again, come into your length, come into your strength, come into your breath, and maybe lift the toes, lengthen even more. Hey, sweetheart, you have a seat there. And then if you like to come into the heart opener on the side, bend that right knee, reach around with the left hand, top of the foot of the ankle, and then lifting from the heart, grounding through that right palm. And just a few easy breaths here. Trying not to overdo this, but just letting your body open up. And take one more inhale. And then as you exhale, gently again, release back to your length. One more breath. And then exhale everything down. Again, inhaling into your cow. Exhale, reverse that into your cat. And then send the hips all the way back to the heels for child's pose. You can bring your hands back by your heels. Let your forehead come to the earth. Send the breath into the back body and just relax into that child's pose for a few breaths. Let's take another full breath here. And then come on back up through your table. And then come back into your downward facing dog. So take this, walk this out again for another breath or two if you like, or just take a breath or two in stillness. And so let's start with the palms. Feel the fingertips and the ball joint and the heel of the hand, all feeling the equal weight distribution. And then the inside and the outside of the hand, the pinky toe, the pinky side and the thumb side. So really see if you can find, you can even take your shoulders forward a little bit and just in very small movements, just move your body so you feel the weight distribution. And then come back to your normal stance for your downward dog, your inverted V. Take an inhale, come high to the balls of the feet, and then drop your heels over to the right. And just let the hips sway over to the right. Keep grounding through both palms. You'll feel that nice lengthening on the left side. And then with an inhale, come back up to center. Heels high. And then exhale them over to the left. Again, keep grounding through both palms so you feel that lengthening now on the right side. And then inhale, come back to center. Come back up high to the balls of the feet. Take another inhale, and then trying to keep as much height with the hips. Lower the heels back toward the earth, creating a little bit more length through the backs of the legs. And take another full breath here. And then stepping the feet a little closer together at the back of your mat. Take an inhale, lift the right leg high. Flex through the heel and just float it up. Just finding a little bit of length. Bend that standing leg. So not the lifted leg, the standing leg just a little bit, and see if that allows you to get a little bit more lift through that right leg. And if you can, straighten the standing leg a little bit, and then go ahead and open up the hip. Keep lifting the right leg. Take another breath in, and then exhale, release it down. Your next inhale, take the left leg high, flexing through the heel, floating up to your degree, bending just a little bit that standing leg, see if you get a little bit more lift, and then coming back to straight with the standing leg and lifting, opening up the hip. Again, just moving slowly with intention, noticing how it all feels. With your exhale, come on back down. Next inhale, take the right leg high. This time, go ahead and float it up, bend the knee, and open it up. Keep the hips opening, keep the shoulders squaring, keep that left heel heavy toward the earth. Take another breath in, and then exhale, square the hip, and this time, hinge forward, bring your knee to your nose, rounding and engaging the core. Take another breath in, and then exhale, send that right foot back up to the sky. Take an inhale, exhale, hinge forward, knee to nose. Inhale, knee to foot to the sky, and exhale, hinge forward, knee to nose. Hold here for 3, for 2, for 1, and then bring your gaze between your hands. Step your foot between your hands. Drop your back knee, and inhale, come on up to an Anjali Asana. Inhale the heart high. Fingertips to the sky, and then you drop into your hips to your degree. Keep grounding through that right heel so the right hip is guiding back. And just take another breath or two. Inhale, and then exhale. Release the hands back down, tuck the back toes, lift the back knee, and take that right leg straight back up to the sky. Inhale it long, and exhale, bring it back to meet the left. Next, inhale, take the left leg high. This time, bend the knee, stack the hip, and open it up. Try and keep the shoulders square, keeping that right heel heavy. Take another breath in, and then exhale, squaring the hip back. Hinge forward, knee to nose, rounding and engaging. Inhale, send that left foot high. Exhale, hinge forward, knee to nose. Inhale, send it high. Exhale, hinge forward for 3, for 2, for 1. Then bring your gaze between your hands. Step that foot between the hands. Drop the back knee. And inhale, come on up. Anjaneyasana on the left. Grounding into that left heel. Softening through the shoulders, lifting the heart. Take another breath in. And then exhale, release the hands, tuck the back toes. Send that left foot straight back up to the sky. Inhale and exhale. Take a full breath in your downward dog. And then exhale, look forward, walk your feet to your hands, and come on into a rag doll at the front of your mat. So heel toe your feet about hip distance, 2 fists can fit right between. Bend your knees as much as you need for this first fold. We haven't really done too much hamstring yet. Grab opposite elbows, let the crown of the head get heavy, and take a nice deep breath in. Open mouth, exhale. And let that help you settle into the pose. Now coming back into your nose breath. Take a few more deep breaths. Maybe swaying side to side, or maybe it's stillness. Just letting your body settle in here. Noticing where the weight's distributed on your feet. Is it back towards your heels or towards the balls of your feet? Can you make it a little bit more even throughout? Go ahead and release your hands, and then heel toe your feet about as wide as your mat. It can be just inside the mat or just outside the mat. And then walk your hands over to the right. With your left hand anywhere between your knee and your ankle, send your right fingertips to the sky. Just take a twist open. If your body is tight, then bring your hand a little bit higher up your leg. I mean, it can be up anywhere on your leg. It doesn't have to be below your knee. So you find the place where you can open up and really twist the rib cage and the heart open while the right fingertips are floating high. Your gaze can be anywhere as well that your neck is comfortable. Up at your fingertips, down at your toes, or anywhere in between. And take one more full breath. And at the end of that exhale, release. Walk the hands through center and over to the left. And then with the left hand somewhere on your legs and the left fingertips high. Very nice. Again, twisting open the rib cage and the heart. And take another breath in. And then as you exhale, release, come back through center. Heel toe the feet back, all the way together this time. So toes are touching, heels are slightly apart. Bend your knees, and then really slowly roll all the way up to stand. Letting the head stay heavy, head stay heavy, the last part to come all the way up. So once you feel the spine come all the way up, then go ahead and lift the head, bring the shoulder blades onto your back and open the palms of the hand towards the front of the room. And again, just notice the weight equally distributed on your feet. Maybe even close your eyes here for breath and really feel how that weight is distributed. And then if they were closed, go ahead and open them up and inhale, sweep the arms up high. Exhale through heart center. Inhale again, sweep high. This time exhale and swan dive, leading with the heart and a long spine, bending the knees as much as you need to protect that lower back, coming all the way down. Inhale, lift halfway and lengthen. fingertips anywhere, probably between the knees and the ankles, somewhere on the shin there. So lengthening out through the spine, sending the tailbone back, the crown of the head forward, and again, feeling that engagement in the core, so the lower ribs are knitting together, protecting the lower back. Come back to your fold with an exhale. Inhale, lift halfway, lengthen. Pause here for another breath. Inhale, exhale, fold. This time, inhale, sweep all the way high. Lengthen all the way up to the sky, and then exhale, swan dive back to your fold. Inhale, lift halfway and lengthen. This time we're gonna come down to our plank, so place your hands, step your feet back, coming into your high plank or any modification. So making sure that the hips are dropping in low enough that the core is engaged. If the knees are down, the same thing, making sure your hips are low enough, maybe you lift the toes. That gives you a little bit more engagement. Make sure that your shoulders aren't too far in front of your wrists, because that's gonna put a lot of pressure on the wrist crease. So the shoulders should be right over, or even they can be a tiny bit behind the wrist. Feet are about hips width. And if your knees are lifted, then your quadriceps and your glutes and your core are super engaged. Your breath is full. Let's take another breath in and out. And the next inhale, lift the hips into your downward facing dog. Take a full breath here. And then inhale, come back to your high plank. Pausing here again for 3 breaths. One more full breath. And then again, inhaling, lifting the hips back to your downward facing dog for 1 full breath. Inhale, come back forward to your high plank. Just 1 breath this time. Inhale. And as you exhale, we're going to lower to our chaturanga with knees on or off the earth, coming halfway, then coming all the way down. And then we'll take our time coming into our first back bend. So pressing the tops of the feet, feeling that engagement in the quads as the knees lift off the earth. Bring the shoulder blades onto your back, and then start to drop them down as you lift from your heart. You can take your hands off for the first one, or just leave them lightly on the earth. Your gaze is just sort of straight ahead. Make sure you're not lifting it up toward the wall or the ceiling at all, but just feeling that back body working. And then if your hands are up, you can bring them back down. Maybe press yourself a little bit higher into a low cobra, or maybe some of you, I know, like to scooch forward, and you can come into a high cobra or an upward facing dog. Take another full breath wherever you are. And then go ahead with your exhale, bring it all the way back to your downward facing dog. Take a nice full breath in and out. One more of those, in and out. And the next inhale, take your right leg high. Exhale, step it forward. We'll come into our warrior 1. So grounding the outer edge of that back foot. And as you ground through both heels, come on up. Settle into the pose. So your torso is squaring forward, your shoulders are softening, your heart is lifting, your gaze is settling, and your breath is full. A lot of things going on. So even if you take away one thing from everything I just said, let it be the breath. I'm just settling in here, really feeling the outer edge of that back foot grounding you. Take another inhale, and then we'll go ahead and open it to our warrior 2. So readjust your feet as you need. You may have a longer stance in your warrior 2. You may be able to drop in a little deeper with the hips now opening to the side of the room, extending the arms, letting the gaze settle, letting the shoulders soften. Glance down, make sure you can see your big toe. That knee tracking to the right edge of your mat. With your next inhale, stay in your lunge. Go ahead and reverse your warrior. Fingertips straight up to the sky. Inhale. Exhale, come back through warrior two into your side angle. Opening up. So grounding into that right heel and maybe getting a little deeper into that hip, that whole femur, the right femur moving into your hip joint. You know, the top of the femur like a ball in that hip joint. And so as you ground into that right heel, you can send it a little deeper, sending a little bit more circulation, blood flow, and sensation there. And then trying to twist open the rib cage and the heart to the side of the room. Left fingertips high. Another breath in. And then go ahead and take that left hand into a half bind. You can let it rest on the lower back, or maybe some of you walk it around and it kind of loops around up to the top of that thigh. But again, still trying to open up through the front of the body. Take one more breath in, and then go ahead and release all of that. Come back up to your warrior two. Reverse one more time. Inhale, and then exhale, windmill it all down. Step that left foot back. Take your vinyasa high to low, or always you can skip it if you want. Go right to your downward facing dog. We'll meet there. And from your downward dog, taking inhale, lift the left leg high. Exhale it forward. Warrior one on the left. Grounding through both heels, and then inhaling to come up. Settling in, squaring off the rib cage, the shoulders and the gaze to the front of the room. Lifting the heart, softening the shoulders. And take another inhale, and then exhale, we'll open it to warrior two. Again, readjusting your stance if you need. Just glancing down, checking in, extending the arms. Settling deep into the hips, softening the shoulders, and then just focusing on the breath, letting the drishti just get soft out over that front middle finger. Next inhale, staying in your lunge, reverse your warrior, left fingertips high, really lengthen them up. And then as you exhale, come back through your warrior two and into your side angle on the left. So this time grounding into that left heel, guiding that left hip back, and then twisting that left rib cage open. Start with the right fingertips to the sky, and you can glance up at them or keep your gaze straight ahead. Take another breath in, and then maybe bring that right hand to your half bind, letting it rest on the lower back, or maybe walking it around. This can be a really deep hip opener. Take another full breath here. And then go ahead and release. Send the right fingertips back up, and then come back through your warrior two. Reverse again for a breath. Inhale, and then exhale, windmill it all down. Step the left foot back, high plank to low. Inhaling up. Exhale it all the way back. Take a nice full breath in and out. And one more of those. And we'll take that same short little series on the breath. Inhale the right leg high. Exhale it forward, warrior one. Inhale. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, side angle. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, side angle. One more time. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, side angle. This time for 3. Full breaths, 2. One more inhale. And then exhale, reverse. Maybe send the fingertips back a little further this time. And then windmill it all the way down. High to low plank. Urdhva Mukha, and then Ardha Mukha, downward facing dog. Next inhale, take the left leg high. Exhale it forward. Grounding down, inhale up, warrior one. Exhale, open to your warrior two. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, side angle. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, side angle. Inhale, reverse. Oh, rocky head enough. Exhale, side angle. It's time to hold for 3, 2, and one more full breath. And then as you reverse, send the fingertips straight up or maybe toward the back of the room a little bit this time. And then exhale, windmill it all down. Step the left foot back, high to low. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, lift the hips. Full breath in, full breath out. Then go ahead and drop the knees. Come on down to your child's pose. Bring the hands back by the heels and forehead to the earth. And just take a nice breath, 2 or 3. And take another full breath in your child's. And then let's go ahead and make your way back up to your downward facing dog. Take an inhale and an exhale. And then inhale the right leg high. Exhale it forward, warrior one. Ground down, inhale up. Settle in. Take another breath. And then release your hands to your lower back. We're going to humble our warrior. So interlace your fingers or grab a strap. If your shoulders are tight, grab a strap behind and just give yourself a little bit more room to maneuver there. And then inhale, lift the heart. And as you exhale, lead with the heart coming down. And you can let your chest rest right on top of that thigh. Or if you are inclined, bring the rib cage inside. Drop the crown of the head and the gaze to the back of the room, and then send your hands overhead, and then ground into that right heel, and as much as you can, guide that right hip back to keep it squaring. And then come into your breath deeply and fully. Two more breaths here. With that second exhale, release the hands, sweep them back up to your warrior one, and then pivot onto the ball joint of that back foot. Bring the hands together through to your heart, and we're going to come into a twist. So we're going to twist to the right, and you can come into it up high like this in your lunge. Bring that left elbow over the right knee, or you can drop the back knee, come into it this way, or stay here, open the arms. Find a half bind, so take any variation here that works for your practice this morning. Breathing fully, expanding the belly into that leg, and try to stay lifted from the heart, so not like rounded down at all. And take one more inhale. And then as you exhale, release, come back to center. If that knee was down, come back up to your crescent lunge. Send your fingertips high, lift the heart, soften the shoulders, melt into the hips. Take another breath in, and then exhale, release the hands, and then walk them all the way over to the left, coming into a wide-legged fold. So you can adjust your feet however much you need so you get that width. Toes in, heels out, fingertips underneath your gaze. Inhale and come high to fingertips so you're lengthening through the spine, tailbone to the back of the room, crown of the head forward, gauging through the core. And then as you exhale, drop the crown of the head. You can keep your fingertips right underneath your gaze, or you can walk them to the edges of your feet or your big toes. And a few deep breaths here. Feel the tailbone lifting, the crown of the head heavy. And take one more inhale. And then exhale, release, bring the hands back underneath your gaze and then walk them back towards the front of the mat. Pivot your feet back into your crescent lunge. So find your feet first, then bend into that front knee and inhale the arms high, coming back into your crescent. Settle back into your pose for another breath. Inhale, and then exhale, release it all down. Step the right foot back. You can take it through your vinyasa or skip it. Go right to your downward facing dog. We'll meet there. And from your downward dog, inhale your left leg high, lengthen it up, and then exhale, step it forward, warrior one. Grounding down, inhale high. Exhale into the pose, take another breath in. And then exhale, release the hands, find the opposite interlace on the lower back with the fingers, squeezing the shoulder blades, lifting the heart as you inhale. And then as you exhale, leading with the heart, grounding into that left heel to try to keep that left heel. It's easy to let that right hip open up. So as much as you can keep that left hip guiding back and keeping the hips square. Drop the crown of the head, drop the gaze to the back of the room. And then just settle into the pose. Find as much softness and stillness as you can. And one more full breath. And go ahead and release. Sweep the arms high, pivot onto the ball joint of that back foot, coming into your crescent on the left. Take an inhale, and then exhale, hands together through heart center, and this time we'll twist to the left. Again, either coming right into the twist or dropping down to that back knee. Pressing the palms together, or maybe opening them wide, half bind, full bind. Doesn't have to be the same as you did on the right side. Just coming into your depth. Take one more inhale. And then exhale, release, come back to center. Come back up to your crescent, send your arms high, lift your heart, melt into the hips. One more breath in. And then exhale, release the hands. This time walk them over to the right. Coming back into our wide-legged fold. Bring your hands into your hip crease and with length in the spine. Inhale, come all the way to stand. And then we're going to take another arm bind. So either interlace the fingertips behind, grab opposite elbows, grab your strap, or maybe reverse namaste. Get my fingertips up there. And then again, inhale. So toes in, heels out here. So the edges of your feet are aligned with the edges of your mat. Take another breath in. And then leading with the heart, come on down into your fold. And take another breath in. And then go ahead and release your arm bind. Bring your hands underneath your gaze and heel toe your feet in once or maybe twice so that you can bend your knees and come up into your goddess pose. So hands at the heart center. Make sure your feet are wide enough that as your knees, as you bend, that your knees stay pretty much over your ankle there. Dropping the hips straight down. So making sure that you're not like sending the tailbone back, but you want to drop straight down into your pose. Take another breath here, and then bring the hands to the tops of the knees, and we'll take our shoulder stretch here. So just hinging forward a little bit, then drop that left shoulder and bring your gaze to the right. As you drop in here, inhale, come back through center, drop the right shoulder and twist to the left. Inhale back through center. We'll take each side one more time. Drop that left shoulder, twist to the right. Inhale back to center and to the left. Drop the right shoulder, twisting the heart to the left. And then inhale, come back to center. Come all the way high, bring the hands back to the heart center, and then exhale back into your goddess just for 3 more breaths. One more inhale, and then exhale, slowly release back up. And then you can just heel toe your feet back toward one another. We're just gonna come into a standing balance pose while we're here. So let's come into a tree pose, balance starting on the left. So sole of the right foot to either your calf or maybe your inner thigh. My pants are slippery here. So if your foot is high, then this is an active pose. The foot is pressing into the thigh and the thigh into the foot. And then you can bring your hands together at your heart. Try to let that knee move open to the right as much as you can. Let your gaze settle somewhere out in front that's not moving. And take 3 more deep breaths. Maybe you send your arms high. And one more inhale, and then exhale, release. You can let that right foot come down and we'll switch sides. Finding the balance on your right foot, bring the sole of the left to the calf or the inner thigh. Hands together at the heart center. You can bring them here to start as you let your gaze settle. And again, maybe you send them high. And one more inhale, and then exhale, release. We'll come back onto the right into our eagle. We have just another minute up here. So crossing right leg, right knee over left, and that right foot can kind of dangle there. You can tuck it behind, or you can kickstand it on the earth. And then we're going to take the arms. So let's inhale them high, and then exhale, take the right arm under, left arm over, bend the elbows, bring the palms to touch. Should get a nice stretching, lengthening sensation through the backs of the shoulder blades. Maybe you drop in a little deeper to your stance. Maybe lift the elbows and the palms away from the face a little bit and then drop them down just a smidge to get a little bit more opening through the back body. One more deep, full breath. And then exhale, release everything, send the arms high. This time we'll start with the arms, right arm over, left arm under. Bend the elbows cross, bring the palms to touch, and then we'll cross left over right. And you can tap, tuck, or dangle that foot, dropping into your pose, settling your gaze. And take one more inhale, and then exhale, release everything, sweep high. And then exhale, swan dive. You can square off back to the front of your mat. Take an inhale, lift halfway and lengthen. And then exhale, step right back to your downward facing dog. Take an inhale breath and an exhale. And then inhale, hinge forward to your high plank. And on a 5 count, we'll lower to our belly. 4, 3, 2, 1, coming all the way down. We'll come into a locust pose. So interlacing the hands on the lower back, squaring the tops of the thighs and tops of the feet. With an inhale, when you're ready, lifting the toes, sending the knuckles to the back of the room, squeezing the shoulder blades together, lifting the heart. Breathing here for 5, 4, 3, 2 more breaths. Next, exhale, slowly release down, let one cheek turn, take a nice deep full breath in and out. Turn the opposite cheek. And then coming back to center, we'll take one more locust. You can take either that same arm variation, you could take a airplane variation, send your fingertips forward and pistol lock the fingertips. Or if you like to practice both, you can bend the knees, grab the tops of the feet or the ankles. And whichever pose you're in, When you're ready, inhale. I'm going to go back to the first pose. Inhale up again for 5, 4, 3, 2, one more inhale. And exhale, release everything down. Turn one cheek, let the hips sway gently side to side, or maybe bend the knees and windshield wiper the feet. Just gently from side to side. And bringing the hands by your heart, just sending your hips all the way back to your child's pose. Forehead to the earth, hands back by the heels. Pausing here, sending your breath into your back body. Take another full breath. And then just shift your hips to one side, swing your legs out in front. Come all the way down to your back. Hug the knees into your chest. Feel the lower back on the earth. Just let it settle there and sort of let your body just get a little heavier, your shoulders. Then go ahead and open up the knees wide, send your feet to the sky, coming into your happy baby. Grab either the outer edges of your feet or the big toes with your fingers, your peace fingers. And the feet are flat as if they're standing on the ceiling. And then just let the knees drop back toward the earth to their degree. Let gravity just take them. Try to keep your shoulders heavy. Try to keep your tailbone grounded. So notice if you tend to roll back, try to keep the tailbone nice and firm. And just breathing here. You can move a little bit side to side. If that helps you get a little deeper into the hip. Otherwise, just finding stillness. You can let the eyes close and the face soften. Take another deep, full breath. And then release. Bring the knees back toward one another. We'll come into an inversion for about 10 breaths. So you can come into Vipariti, Karani, legs up. If you're by a wall, maybe scooch yourself or your mat over to the wall. You can bring your back body right up to the baseboard. Send your legs straight up. And if you do have a block, you can use that underneath your lower back for just a little bit more of a lift. If you practice shoulder stand, feel free to come into shoulder stand. We're going to stay for about 8 to 10 breaths. So when you get into your pose, if you're in Vipariti, let your arms rest by your side. If you're in shoulder stand, hands are on your lower back for support, making sure not to move your head side to side. Softening your face, softening your eyes, settling into your breath. And if you're in shoulder stand, start to make your way out, coming through plow, bringing your toes overhead. If you're in Vipariti next to a wall like I am, you can stay right here for your Shavasana if you would like. If you would like to come out, you switch yourself away from the wall. Or if you are not on a wall but in Vipariti, you can just come on back down. So everybody coming out of your inversions, hugging your knees into your chest, drop them to the right for a spinal twist. Gaze to the left, take 3 deep breaths. Into your third exhale, come back through center and take the knees to the left, the gaze to the right. 3 deep breaths on this side. Into your third exhale, come back through center, give the knees one last hug in, and then we'll extend everything nice and long for Shavasana. Of course, taking any other last poses or movements that you need before you come into your rest. So extending the legs long, heels to the corners of the mat, extending the arms a little bit away from your body. When you get yourself settled, take a nice deep breath in through the nose, send it out through the mouth, and just let that exhale signal to your body to really settle, soften, relax, let go, all of those emotions and thoughts that translate to the feeling in your body. Let the muscles in the face soften. The eyelids get heavy. And just coming back into your natural, easy pace of breath. Starting to bring some awareness back to your breath and to your physical body. As always, if you have more time to stay in your Shavasana, I encourage you to. But if you are ready to move on, then start to bring some deeper breaths, lengthening your inhale, deepening your exhale. And then with your next breath in, lengthen the arms overhead, stretch everything out nice and long. And then hug the knees into the chest. Squeeze them in tight. Make a nice little ball. And then just drop to one side. Take another deep, full breath. And then when you're ready, make your way back up to a comfortable upright. And we'll bring the hands together at the heart center. Bring back to mind our intention or dedication or our focus of thought. Just try to see it clearly with your next breath or two. Let's honor those thoughts. Bring our hands to our crown, to our throats, honoring our words, our hearts honoring our souls, and the light that shines in each one of us. Namaste. Namaste. Thank you, guys.